welcome. I'm Jade of Jaded Reader, and this is going to be a vlog. However, I wanted to put a quick disclaimer in here that this is the first week or 2 weeks. It kind of really did blur together for me of going into self-isolation. I do live with my grandmother, so I am being incredibly careful, and it has been a stressful time for me. As far as adjusting to things go and transitioning, this was originally supposed to be a WitchAthon vlog for Ostara, which actually coincidentally is all about transitioning. I don't think that this is what Rhiannon had in mind, but it is what happened. I just wanted to make it super clear that this is dealing with quite a few different adjustments in my life as I started working from home and so on and so forth. Just keep that in mind. I'm putting content warnings on my own vlog just because I know watching it back, I was really deciding whether I wanted to show it or not, and I decided that I did for myself, kind of showing like what I got through, because the vlog that has already been posted, if you'd like a little bit more of a fun, loving, chill vlog, this is a more recent me. This vlog that you're about to see is me right into self-isolation. So yeah, there's quite a few different transitions. If that's not for you, I have a more recent vlog. However, I did end up deciding I wanted to put this one up for me to show progress in myself, as well as just connecting with other people who may be going through similar situations and feel solace in that. There's that. Second off, I know you're not done with me yet. I wanted to make an adjustment to a clip that I'm just taking out having to do with The Wolf and the Whale by Jordana Max Brodsky. I'm reading this book primarily all through WitchAthon. I do a summary, but it's before I found out more information, so I just wanted to give a proper summary of this book, a non-spoilery summary just to give you an idea of what the heck I'm reading. This is The Wolf and the Whale, and it follows a character named Omat, and this is in a fantastical historical fictional world inspired by Inuit and Norse culture, though neither of those cultures are actually featured in the book. And Omat is having some challenges with their gods, as well as challenges within their tribe. They're being trained as a spiritual leader and have grown up as one gender and go through a lot of questions and identities while trying to figure out exactly who they are and who they want to be and what their body means to them and what their body means to other people. There's a lot of content warnings that I will mention later in this vlog, but I just wanted to make that more known. This is about two cultures meeting and what possibly they would have to talk about or explore between each other and how that might go about. So this is a Norse-inspired culture coming to an Inuit-inspired culture and how they would interact. It also has amazing gender fluidity representation as well as just gender exploration. In the end, I just wanted to make sure that that was really clear and that my summary didn't completely suck, and if you just watched the beginning of my vlog, that you at least got one true piece of information from this entire thing, and that is, no, I was gonna say the summary of this book. Well, it's not up to you. Without further ado, here is my, well, good luck, guys. Well, welcome to spring break in the apocalypse. Oh my gosh, guys, something really cute must have gone under my car. What are you? So it was 65 yesterday, or the day before yesterday. Today it is 31. Normally, this would be a day that they would call off work with kids, and it would have been like a snow day. I don't think they've actually had time to react yet, and this is supposed to be the last day at one of my jobs before we work from home. Ooh, I am switching it into P. My car's not starting. Oh, what is going on? So I just got done reading more of The Wolf and the Whale, and this book is so intense. I have so many content warnings for this book. I might just display them at the bottom of the screen because it would sound a lot like I was doing a medication commercial where everything under the sun is mentioned. So I know that my previous summary and my TBR for this book is wrong, and some of the information I've been given as far as like the marketing for this book is actually wrong. I was going to the back of the book to find the glossary for some of the Inuit words and meanings, means, as well as some Norse terms that just came up. And I found notes on the research done for this book, as it does take place over 1,000 years ago. It's like ancient cultures, ancient Inuit and Norse cultures, but it is a fantastical culture. It's not actual Inuit culture. It has several different practices, religions, both Norse mythology and Inuit culture. It's definitely like a fantasy book. I knew it was fiction, but I guess technically it's also fantasy. And I think that's really important to point out, because the way I was kind of sold on this was the fact that it was a fictional Inuit story about this character named Omat, but it's not. This is not an own voices author. Jordana Max Brodsky has an entire note in the back where she says very straightforward that she is not own voices, that she was heavily inspired by several different cultures in making this book. And in her own words, notes on research and sources. The Wolf and the Whale is not an Inuit story. It is a fictional creation of a non-Inuit writer profoundly inspired by Inuit history, culture, and myth. Given my status as an outsider in our incomplete knowledge of a distant past, I have no doubt made mistakes. I am a novelist, not an anthropologist. A Qualnat, not an Inuk. With those limitations in mind, I hope that this story is received as it is intended, as an attempt to honor the Inuit past, not to claim it. It goes on and explains some of the history and where she got her ideas. Nowhere else has it said anything like this, and that's just a little jarring to me since I am halfway through this book and I'm finding this out. I wish there was something else, and I know that I'm not going to blame the author for this. This just happened to me with the 10,000 Doors of January, with non-POC author doing a POC perspective, which heavily talked about colonization, colorism, and that perspective from the writer's perspective. Now I have to kind of switch gears a little bit, but there's a lot of other things going on with this book that are really important to me, and I'm not going to disregard. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that a little later. Right now I'm going to finish my food. I have some blueberry oatmeal, strawberries, and some quickly crafted sausages. I'm going to set this down for a little bit just so I can contemplate what I've learned, and then I'm going to pick it back up and instead just enjoy this as a fantasy book. Okay, so rant over, gonna eat some food, and then we'll catch up with you later. So it's been a few days since I have updated my vlog, if I've really updated it at all. I'm not gonna lie, everything's been kind of a blur lately. I'm trying to get my bearings. Over the past few days, I have been doing some really weird things with my schedule and self-care that are not very usual to me, which makes sense. I mean, I'm giving myself that, but I do need to create some sort of normalcy in my life, because for the past few days, I've been doing this weird thing where I'm like high-key socializing and then just like slumping on my couch or on my Snorlax, and I just kind of like stay there in some weird stasis state where I'm not reading, I'm not talking, I'm not really even thinking, I'm just kind of like scrolling through Twitter and dwelling, and I have to stop. So I'm gonna take care of myself in some different ways. I'm gonna create a bit of a structure for my day, and that's not gonna work for everyone, but it's definitely going to work for me because my day is usually actually pretty structured. Evenings are when I have like free roam of my life. My day structure is pretty specific, and I think that is messing me up. I'm gonna create a structure, going to figure out some of the comforting things I can do for myself. I think I'm also going to film a video on comfort and like things that are comfortable for me. Gonna talk to Rachel, because Rachel is really good at structure, and that's something I need in my life right now. Not naturally structured. Okay, all right. Time has passed. I've been talking to Rachel. It was really nice. We just sat there and like talked, and then she was reading some of the Raven Cycle, and she's liking it, which is the best thing ever I could have wanted, and I'm getting to watch her reactions, and she's asking me questions, clarifying questions. That was all very, very nice. But I was able to put a schedule together for myself, and this might not be interesting to you or useful to you. That's okay. I have a routine for myself, and it's pretty loosely structured, but it is a structure throughout my day with lots of choices and options. Not every day is going to be the same, and I'm not going to be up for doing these things every day, but having things that I'm supposed to be answering to or looking forward to, I think it'll just help. For my morning, I'm still going to remain waking up at 9 a.m. That's my regular time that I usually have to be at work, and I'm not awake at work until like 10. So I feel like 9's perfectly fine, and it'll keep me accountable for just like being conscious at 9. I also have been talking to Olivia from Olivia's Catastrophe, and she's going to recommend me some yoga videos or like a yoga channel. Not super intensive yoga, but something relaxing and easy to do within your home. So I'm gonna give that a try as well. At noon, I have lunch. Going to go ahead and keep a regular eating schedule. Then I will be doing work. I do get to do some part-time online work. Then I have reading. I think this is going to be where I'm doing my rereads, because if I am getting done with my work and I am kind of getting back online, I'm definitely going to be very aware of the fact that I am at home, that I may or may not be getting work done and all of those things. So that is where my rereads will come in. So I'm actually going to make a video about that. So I'm guessing that this video is going to come out second and that you'll probably see that video first. So it'll be called Comfort maybe, or Comfort Reads, or things I do when I'm comfortable. Dude, it's been like 3 minutes of me trying to get something out of my eye. From noon to 4, this is all pretty loose. So I have lunch, work, reading, shows, friends, and The Sims. This is my time to socialize, is from noon to 4. I'm just making it really open for me because I think a lot of people are in that state where they are in the middle of the day wondering what they can do or should be doing, and it all feels really uncertain. That's the area I feel like I have been struggling the most, and so that's the area I'm leaving open for all of those self-care moments. And if all else fails, if no one wants to speak to me and I don't want to read or watch anything, I will play The Sims, because controlling someone else's life is sometimes the best way to cope, not being able to control your own. From 4 to 6, I have family time. That's time where I am spending time with my partner. He's in an IT program. His program finishes up, which is completely online, which is really nice. It gives us time to like relax and hang out and catch up, because we haven't gotten to spend any time with each other during the day despite being in the same room, which is already kind of difficult to navigate. At 6, I'll eat dinner, and then it's very loosey-goosey from there. Really hoping I can implement this schedule. Let's go on about our day. It is 4 p.m. so I'm going to go put some pants on, spend some time with family, maybe watch a movie. My little sister's over right now, and maybe do a board game. This is what my life has come to. So I just got laid off, and I'm going to, I can't speak English right now. I can't speak any language right now. I don't actually have a reaction yet. I'm just feeling kind of stunned. They did it on a organization-wide video call, and I understand they were just doing the best they could do with the social distancing, but it was like kind of a lot. For right now, I'm gonna watch an anime. Yeah. Okay, I started watching anime for a little bit, and I realized that I kind of just needed some fresh air. Like, I was feeling super bogged down, so instead of continuing on with that part of my schedule, I moved outside where it's nice and sunny and beautiful. Nothing is telling me I can't be outside, so I think that's kind of a good idea. I'm not gonna pick up The Wolf and the Whale right now. Instead, I'm gonna do a bit of a reread with the Tea Dragon Society. I absolutely love the series. I talk about it. There's several times I've talked about it. Gonna go ahead and read some of this because it's beautiful and it's whimsical, and it kind of fits like this mood that's going on outside. So outdoor reading, here we come.
So vast as the sky, with faraway clouds just wandering by. Sky, so vast as the sky, with faraway clouds.
Just a brief pause to say, for those who don't know, there's actually sign language in this book. There are characters here that communicate through sign, and in the back there is some information about sign language. I thought it was just really cool that they incorporated that in, and I don't know if I had mentioned it before in my talking about the book. So I'm I'm feeling a little less knotted inside and a little bit more calm and loose and relaxed. So I am going to pick back up The Wolf and the Whale. I obviously talked about this earlier, and I feel like I've talked about it a lot in the aspect of whether it is or isn't an Inuit story and like what the premise is. But part of why I'm connecting with this book so well, in an area I do feel I can talk on just a personal level, is I'm really enjoying the exploration of gender in this book, as this character is raised to be male but is questioning whether or not this is put together by societal standards, by their culture's standards, their tribe's standards, or if that is actually how they're identifying. And I've really related to this struggle a lot. I have been raised female, I identify as female, but not all of the time. So there's been moments in my life where I have not felt like my energy or being is female, and this has put so many different like little moments and things into words that it's felt really reassuring and very cathartic. And this is not for me like a coming out video or anything like that. It's not something I talk about publicly or something people need to know. I still identify as female. I would say like there is a gender fluidity in this that really resonates with me, and so I've appreciated it so far. I hope it continues on in that exploration in a really healthy way. There has been some really hard moments where this character is misgendered, and it is part of, I think, the larger argument of it being challenged and not okay. But that is a content warning I have for it, if that is something triggering for you. Along with all of the other trigger warnings I have mentioned before, there is misgendering in this book, and it can be upsetting, and at some points it's just really heavy, and it's a very focused topic in this book, and there's lots of trauma in it as well. I am enjoying the main character's perspective in exploring this, and I don't know if this is an Own Voices perspective, but I, as an individual, am relating to it, so I'm appreciating that it's out there, whether or not it's an Own Voices perspective or not. I figured I'd say that about it, since it is something I am appreciating about it. Yeah, so I'm gonna get to reading more of this. So it's been a few days since I've interacted or done anything. I've been kind of keeping up on my schedule. I haven't had as much to film, I guess. I mean, I could just film me reading in my house. That works for some people. Let me know if that's something that you would want to see. I usually just cut out if I'm reading for a long time. I just usually show you that I am indeed reading. Yeah, I have been reading. I am almost done with The Wolf and the Whale. Like, when I say almost done, I have like 20 pages left of this. So I'm really excited for that. I am still only about 30 or so pages into Mordred. It's good, it's just basic. Right now, it hasn't caught me as anything like original or neat or anything like that, but it is an Arthurian legend, and I am enjoying it actually more than I enjoyed Cursed. I finished Cursed. Where is that? I don't know where Cursed is. I finished Cursed, and I ended up just finding out through the entire process that I felt that the characters were only the same characters in name and not in personality whatsoever. Arthur was very much so not like Arthur. Every character just seemed really muddled to me. I ended up giving it a 3.5 stars, and there were really great parts. I think it'll make an excellent action-packed Netflix original, which is what it is slated to be soon. But I feel like it was always meant to be that, and that it as a book came second. The action scenes were spot on, but without being incredibly accusatory, I feel like this author very much so has never read an Arthurian legend themselves, and instead have only watched like Arthurian movies and retellings, and then tried to make a book based off of their limited perception of who these people are. So there's my shade there, and now I am getting ready to go on a chat with Soleil from Little Reader's Corner, Sarah from novel Sarah-ndipity, and Leah from Where in the World is Leah Jane. We are going to be buddy reading Crescent City. I'm going to be reading it on audiobook. It's a huge book. I think it's like 25 hours, but it's the only way I can physically get a copy right now. I'm really glad I'm buddy reading this, and I'm going to start chatting with them now, so gonna check in with you guys later. So I just finished up my chat and it was so much fun. We were on there for a really long time. I think we only read like a cumulative amount of like 20 minutes, 20 or 30 minutes, but we got a good way of the way through. I got to the end of, just a little shy of the end of chapter 3 of Crescent City, and this is me giving Sarah J. Maas another try. I, in my older videos, acknowledged that I really didn't like and still don't like Throne of Glass series. I didn't finish it, so I've heard that they get better or different. At least I've heard mixed reviews. But I realized that I couldn't say that I didn't like Sarah J. Maas or her writing, of course not her as a person, but her writing style, because sometimes stories just register differently. I know for me, All of the Crooked Saints by Maggie Stiefvater is not my favorite at all. I think it's actually my least favorite Maggie Stiefvater book, and if I had started with this, I don't know where I would be at with my love for Maggie Stiefvater's books or her writing, but I do know that luckily I didn't start with this, so I was able to continue on and love her work, and just didn't favor this book as much as I favored other books that were by her. And I realized I hadn't really given Sarah J. Maas that try, so I'm going to be giving her a try. Everyone's been talking about Crescent City. It's a very hyped up book. The reason why I'm picking it isn't specifically because it's a hyped up book, but because I think that some of the ways that Sarah J. Maas has suffered in the past, as far as like criticisms and critiques, is that she has these characters and this writing style that is very adult, but all these characters are aged down, and what would you do if you had an older character in these stories? So that's one of the reasons I really wanted to give this book a try. I also made it a Twitter poll, and people really pulled for Crescent City being a book that is different from her other books, and the one I should try if I was going to try something different from her. And it makes the most sense. It's her most recent work. It's the newest in a series, and it's an adult fantasy versus young adult fantasy. So far, I would say I'm liking it more than I liked Throne of Glass initially, so that's a really good sign for me. So far, I don't know the plot, and I've been told not to read the summary by several parties, so I have not read the summary for this book. I know little to nothing about it except for what I've read so far, which it has fae, werewolves, these kind of like half animal, half human characters, and then there's also like these, I think there's like a fire sprite in it so far, so it's definitely that kind of world. It takes place on almost like a separate planet. It's not sci-fi, I wouldn't call it sci-fi, but it's like separate realm, separate planet, and separate city. I'm not sure if I would label it as urban fantasy so far. Right now I'm not lost, I just don't know a lot. I'm just giving it its time, and yeah. I also earlier finished, as I had mentioned before, Cursed. It's illustrated by Frank Miller and written by Thomas Wheeler, and as I said before, I feel like this was adapted for television, and that the fact that this is bound in a book was very much so a second thought. It wasn't its original intention, or if it was, it didn't register that way for me. It also doesn't register as this person knowing much about Arthurian Legends characters, just the basic outline of like, this is a world and you can play how you want, which I'm not saying you can't have your own version and own adaptations, but it's not what I'm looking for in an Arthurian legend. So I finished it, but I gave it a 3.5 stars, and there was one thing that really confused me as I was going through. Nimue, who is the main character of the story and is a very prominent character in Arthurian legend, is described in the book with having blonde hair, looking very like fair and nymph-like, and I am thrown off by this because initially I was really excited and picked up this book because this was the character of Nimue, and I'm finding that the way that Nimue is described and the way that she is illustrated, at least in the ARC version, doesn't match up for me. This very much so looks like a POC character, and I was looking forward to a POC character in this book, but unless I really missed something or was my mistake confused, the art at the beginning of this book, which it is indeed Nimue, it says, "The water stirred and Nimue rose slowly from the pond, the sword of power clutched in her fist." So I didn't quite have a picture of her in my head. I initially had the illustration in my head, but that was constantly being contradicted. I don't know if they spoke or not about this, and I don't have the actual copy. This is the ARC, but yeah, that was confusing to me. I am probably going to read a little bit more tonight. Like I said, have barely any of this book left. I'm at the very end of it. It was so far to me really beautiful, really good. I very much so like the fact that in this book you have these two very different cultures, and they are fictional cultures, but the idea of cultures meeting and having so many differences and how to go through conversations around that when there are so many different ways of doing things and belief systems, these characters comparing their cultures, and one character is really confused because kissing doesn't appear in their culture, and then the other characters are confused because spirits don't appear in their culture in that same context. And like the conversation that surrounds it, I think is a really beautiful conversation, and I think that it's handled in a very kind way. I also thought it was really interesting how xenophobia was kind of presented in this book. Both our characters, one said to be Inuit and the other one said to be Norse, both of these characters describe each other as ugly, and I thought that that was really interesting to just be like, they both initially just thought the other one was ugly, and how that was challenged and changed throughout the book and its narrative. So yeah, it just gave me a lot to think about. This is definitely like, this will make you think book. You may or may not agree with everything that's in it, but thought that there were a lot of things that definitely made me think. I was inquisitive the entire way through. I'm hoping that the ending is a fulfilling one. I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, but it is 4 p.m., which means I'm actually shutting down vlogging, and after I'm done with these chapters, I'm not actually going to be reading anymore. I kind of just like allow 4 p.m. to be pretty much just time for me to be checked out of internet activities and instead just be here in my house and enjoy the people in my house, because as much as we are all quarantined together, we've been pretty good at compartmentalizing ourselves into different nooks and crannies of the house, and I haven't actually seen some of my family members today, and I very much so, despite it all, miss them. So I'm gonna go upstairs and check in with them, have some dinner, and I think I'm gonna start watching Outlander. I'll check in with you guys tomorrow, and then I think I'm going to wrap this vlog up. I have not posted a video that I'd meant to post earlier in this vlog. I started questioning whether or not it was useful or good, and I decided that it could be useful and good, but I need to redo it. So I'm refilming and going to re-edit a video, and so I don't have a video out this week. So yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I feel that if people want to see my video, then they'll find it, and I'm not trying to grow through this. I'm just trying to have outlets and hobbies and feel good. So all right, there's that. I'm going to go now. Yeah, I'll check in with you tomorrow. I get to leave the house. I get to run errands. I'm going to be leaving. I'm very excited about it. I'm running errands for my grandma. I'm picking up medication. This is the highlight of my week. I get to speak to another person that is not related to me. We will, of course, be social distancing. It's interesting for picking up medication if you don't know. At least here, you just park in the spot and they will bring it out to you in gloves, in a bag, and then the medication's inside. So I know that that's usual. There are ways to do roadside pickup, but that's kind of the only way to do it here right now. I don't actually get to go in anywhere, but I do get to go somewhere. I also haven't driven my car in a while. It kind of feels weird to be inside of it, and I really missed it. All right, let's get going. Okay. Also, I am listening to Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas, and I think this is the definitely without a doubt. It's not I think. I know without a doubt that this is the most I've ever enjoyed a Sarah J. Maas book, and that's very promising for me. I'm actually looking forward to reading it each time I pick it up. We're in good shape. I just finished the book and it was absolutely fantastic. I really just ended up loving this book. I know for certain this might not be the book for everyone. Trigger and content warnings alone, this is a really intense book. As I finished it, I felt like I just did a really wonderful, fantastic, endorphin-inducing workout. It was intense. Almost the entire way through. I felt so many things while reading this, and it was such a great just exploration, and I am saying this as someone who truly just enjoyed this journey. There are some hard moments in this book, but I'm going to give it 5 stars. I just can't not give it 5 stars after the impact it's had on me and how it's made me feel. So yay, 5-star read. I'm also pretty exhausted. This is going to be a pretty sporadic vlog. I don't actually know what this vlog is, except for that it's me trying to kind of get my bearings on things, and I might need to just put an actual disclaimer at the beginning so that people don't walk into this being like, what on earth? I am going to wrap this up. Probably going to insert some footage tomorrow because all of my stickers came in for my water bottle. I'll have all the links to all of the sticker shops that I went to get my stickers down below. I'm very excited about all of them. They're all personal and wonderful and fantastic, but if any of them stand out to you, all of these shop owners will be linked down below, including Books with Leo. We'll also have a link down below. Books with Leo is a fellow booktuber, and she is so sweet and wonderful. I met her on one of Rachel's live shows. videos, and I just like looked at her work for conversational material and was like, oh, I need all of this. I'll be just putting stickers on tomorrow, and that'll kind of just be the end of the vlog, and I should probably go film that disclaimer now. I hope you're enjoying the sun or more stars wherever you are, and until next time, bye! Okay, so actually my sister just came down to hand me this lukewarm hot dog for lunch, so thank you so much. Also, if you want to say hi, she got a hair color change once again. This is Dee, my little sister, if you don't know her. I guess I'm gonna eat this lukewarm hot dog, and now I'm going to go put my stickers on. I hope you're enjoying the sun or more stars wherever you are, and until next time, bye!